I remember it took me 30 minutes to go from Torrance to Wilshire, back on the 110. I almost missed that, but everything else, I'm glad everything's opening up. All right, so yes. Hello everybody, my name is Arthur Schomper. I'm the organization director for MassResistance. We are the international pro-family group that makes the difference. For over 25 years, we've been fighting the culture of death, specifically the destructive LGBT agenda. Our efforts in public schools started in Newton, Massachusetts. Our president, Brian Kamaker, was appalled at the sex ed curriculum that his children were receiving. This was in 1995. This is how bad it was in New England. And when he spoke out against it, the vitriol he received, the viciousness from the community, we've experienced cancel culture before it was a thing. And his wife was harassed in the grocery store. At the Reform synagogue he was going to, the minister, the people harassed him for calling out the sex ed curriculum. This was horrific what he went through, but he stood his ground and he won. And the reaction was so outrageous that he doubled down to fight this agenda. MassResistance, we're unique because we're in your face, we're confrontational. We don't shy away from speaking the truth about the destructive aspects of homosexuality, transgenderism, and the like. We've also been calling out Black Lives Matter. At its core, it is a homosexualist movement. 4 lesbians founded this group, and they talked about destroying the Western family. That's about as anti-family as it gets, and it's extremely racist, as though only white people can have nuclear families. The BLM website talked about pushing queer models, etc. I want to talk right now about what MassResistance has already accomplished. In Downey Unified, we fought back for 6 months, and we got the perverse Teen Talk sex ed curriculum removed. They just shoved it down the parents' throats without even listening to them. Majority Hispanic, by the way. The parents spoke up immediately, and we didn't take no for an answer. We had parents that would go to some of the school board members' churches because they wouldn't meet with them. As elected officials, there's a First Amendment right to petition for a redress of grievance. And so they took every step, and they finally prevailed. That was huge. I could be here, like many people said, for a long time, so I might jumping around a little bit. Our activists went door to door on weekends. We had churches connected with us. We had the news helping us out. When we would knock on doors, people would go, "Oh, I read about you guys. I heard about what you're doing at the school board." So we were able to put media to good use as well. The Downey Unified School District even had so-called safe zone stickers. This is really about promoting homosexuality and transgenderism to children. This doesn't make it safe. This is making these schools less safe. We got that removed as well. What makes us different from other pro-family groups? We are relentless and confrontational. We don't ask politely. We demand the school district remove this filth. Our activists are very clear. We provide clear talking points. We don't shy away from this. We have published the book, The Health Hazards of Homosexuality. And this book is so controversial that Laura Ingraham waved me off her show when I brought this up. She's supposed to be a conservative, and she kicked me off. So this is a real problem. I'll be talking a little bit about that later since we're in a partisan atmosphere. We'll get to that in a sec. So that's what we did in Downey. In Anaheim Union High School District, this was also in 2019, they were using Planned Murderhood for their sex ed curriculum as well. We had 7th graders coming home to their mothers saying that they witnessed rape as part of the sex ed curriculum. We showed up, we marshaled the parents, and we got that removed from Anaheim Union High School District. In Anaheim Elementary School District, they had Harvey Milk Day. These are elementary school kids. And this guy was a pederast. He slept with children. And they want to celebrate this as some kind of a civil rights hero. And most of the parents don't speak English as a first language. So lo and behold, they push these documents on the kids. The parents don't know what's going on, and these kids get indoctrinated. We put a stop to a lot of that filth there as well. In the city of Torrance, where I live, we had, first of all, there was at a middle school, there was an Instagram account promoting itself as an official account for the students, promoting all the Black Lives Matter talking points. Cops are targeting blacks. Black people are cared more by cops than any other ethnic group. All the racism and bigotry. And we got a lot of stonewalling from the school district. They had said to us initially, well, they have a First Amendment right. And I said, they don't have a First Amendment right to call themselves an official Instagram or any kind of social media account. We badgered the school district, the school board. I went out to the superintendent. I talked to one of the school board members. And then one day, the entire account was taken down. So you can fight City Hall and win. You can fight the school board and you can win. We had another parent contact us about West High School, where the teacher was pushing all of these, Black Lives Matter, George Floyd was, victimized by racist police narratives. This is an English class, and they're using every opportunity to indoctrinate this hate onto the students. I worked with the parents, we went after the principal, and the teacher relented and removed that curriculum. There's other things we're dealing with too in Torrance. You have teachers complaining about their white privilege, quote unquote, to students, but this traumatizes the students because they're white, or they're half white. And then they start to feel like, am I bad, or is there something wrong with me too? These are things we've been going out as well. There are other victories. I mentioned Anaheim, talked about that. We have stopped reparative therapy bans. This is a massive assault on the First Amendment. These are therapies that help people who struggle with same-sex temptations or gender dysphoria. We have stopped bills to ban this life-saving therapy in Minnesota, Arizona, Nebraska, even here in California. The bill AB 2943, this was in 2018, it was so broad in scope, it would have banned the Bible. Any material, any teachings that promote natural marriage, life, family, would have been deemed consumer fraud. And even when they amended the bill, we continued to go after the legislature. We didn't go after the governor, we went after legislators, we targeted people. And the assembly author, Evan Lowe, LGBT militant, pulled the bill at the last minute. We didn't stop going after Evan Lowe. We went to his town halls in Cupertino. We went after him and said, you're not bringing this back. We got in touch with law firms and we said, you're going to get sued by every law firm imaginable and you will lose because we have a Supreme Court that affirms the First Amendment in these cases. But he has not introduced the bill since. 3 times we went after him, 3 terms, and he didn't bring it back. So, and it talked about in Chula Vista, and this has happened all over the country. We have shut down Drag Queen Story Hour. The notion of a perverted man dressing up as a parody of a woman, where are the feminists? Where are the feminists? This is like the feminist version of blackface. And it's so degrading. They are grooming the kids. They've admitted it. But our organization, we're not afraid to get our hands dirty. We look at their social media. We expose the pornography and perversion and filth that they promote publicly, folks. They do this out in the open. They're so shameless. We exposed, this was national. How many of you got the report from Tucker Carlson where not 1 but 2 of the drag queens were sex offenders at the Houston Library? That was our organization. We did the work that the media refused to do. We have then exposed another drag queen was a prostitute. We've exposed other ones who were marketing out prostitution businesses in Maryland. We've shut them down. You can't now, of course, there are consequences when you take a stand like this. Hate groups, white nationalists have attacked me, even though I get called one for some strange reason. There's another hate group in Alabama. It's not the KKK. They call themselves the Southern Poverty Law Center. They have defamed me. They've defamed my boss, who is an Orthodox Jew. When they're not defaming Muslims, Jews, immigrants, they're trying to shut down charter schools that serve black people. We have been successful. Our organization, we have targeted media organs, and we've told them the SPLC is a hate group. Why are you referencing them? The SoCal News Group, they write about mass resistance. They don't mention the hate group from Alabama. We pushed on them. They don't do it anymore. The Los Angeles Times does not mention the hate group from Alabama anymore. We push back. We're not just interested in winning an election or fixing a policy. We want to shape the culture. And we don't take it standing down that they call us bigots or defame us in any way, shape, or form. So, towards the discussion I want to bring up to you, I'm very much here as a recruiter. I was in Rossmore signing people up. I have my sign-up sheet in the back. We are getting stuff going in LA County now. We've been protesting the drag queen stuff. We want to make sure it doesn't come back. The Board of Supervisors has allowed this filth in our county libraries. You can be sure they're going to want to bring it back as soon as the libraries open up again. I need your help. If it's happening in your neighborhood, we need to stop it. I've got my sign-up sheets in back. I have my pamphlets in back as well. These are some of the things that Mass Resistance is doing, and I hope to communicate not just for our election purposes, but here in California, we've got to be thinking larger about shaping the culture. We had a great recall in 2003. I voted for that. I voted for McClintock, though. Schwarzenegger was okay sometimes, but then things kind of went south. It isn't enough to recall bad people. We've got to get good people, and we've got to make sure we have a system in place that we can have other good people. And this might make me a little unpopular, Well, I'm talking about this, but, I'm not afraid to say some truth here. We've got 2 candidates that are thinking about running for governor. One already has. A confused man who thinks he's a woman wants to run for governor. I'm sorry, but no. And to hell with the 11th commandment. I don't care. The Republican Party was founded not just on ending slavery, but ending polygamy, which is the slavery of women and the destruction of the family. I'm sorry, but no. Sorry, Bruce. No, I'm not voting for you. And you know what? I've gotten crap for this, and I'm concerned. There's some Republicans that seem to dabble in this. I'm not supporting Rick Grinnell. The guy abuses his body with other men. I'm sorry, no. And here's the deal. I'm very glad for his foreign policy experience, but I've had enough. We don't need identity politics. We need principles. And you know what? In Downey, California, which is still registered Democrat, they supported us. They wanted the filth out. They don't support LGBT. They don't support drag queen story hour. I talked to 2 Democrats from Montclair, very Democrat area. They said boldly, we're pro-life and we're anti-LGBT. Now, Republicans, do you think you're going to win being a baby killer and destroying family? No. You want those Hispanic votes? It's time to get back to natural law and simple principles. I mean, it's just common sense. I really had to go out there. It might be a little out of the stream here, but I had to go on board about that. Couple things also just about mass resistance. Let me know when my time's up, or give me 2 or 3 minutes, or whatever. Okay, thank you very much, because I can go long too. I got to be really careful about that. There's a couple things to me that we need to be thinking about as conservatives. It's really good, yes, we have our gatherings, we have our meetings, we have our speakers, but we need to start finding issues and fighting at the local level, which is what mass resistance is doing. I was invited to one forum a few weeks ago. Thank you, Sonia. I'm working with those parents now. I didn't show up and talk. I'm walking with them. I told them to go after the chief of police. I told them this is how you deal with Antifa. I told you we don't have to settle that the school board's going to shove CRT on the parents. It is not a done deal. I'm already helping them out. So I want to make that very clear. This LGBT agenda, we have to have the courage of our convictions now. I'm sorry, but enough's enough. 30 years ago, we were told, well, we just want to have our relationship in private, and we promise we won't affect you. An hour ago, I just got off the phone with Rob Hoagland, a father in British Columbia, Canada. And before that, he was in a prison cell. You want to know why? Because the school district manipulated his daughter to become a boy without his knowledge or permission. And when he opposed it, they told him, shut up, you can't talk about it. And he said, you're abusing my daughter, I'm telling the world. Our organization we have been violating the conduct order by that corrupt judge in British Columbia. So I can't go to Canada right now. I'm an international criminal right now. And I'm proud of it because it's a crime what they're doing. This is not a private agenda. Don't give me this live and let live crap. There may be some libertarians in the audience. We need to talk. Liberty is about economic growth. But we need government to restrain evil. It is evil to redefine marriage to be anything but one man and one woman. It is evil to attack the sex of male and female. This is not acceptable, and Republicans need to either get with the program and stand with their principles, or they might as well close up shop now, because the Democrats have already destroyed, they target the economy, they target the family. We don't need to be doing the same thing. And here it is. Alexander Solzhenitsyn, I have a long quote, I won't go into all of it. He was a anti-communist, fled, he was kicked out of the Soviet Union, in fact, came here to the United States. He wrote a very simple essay, live not by lies. So maybe you're afraid to demonstrate. Maybe you can't stand up to your boss right now. Maybe you're worried about cancel culture. The starting point is, we're not going to live by lies. No, you're not going to tell me 2 men can be married and it's okay. No, you're not going to transition a child. No, you're not going to have some weirdo who calls himself a woman who had won gold medals as a man. And no, you're not going to go bullying other countries and tell them that they have to redefine marriage. Where we are 30 years later, we've got venereal disease everywhere. We got people going to jail here in this country. If they speak out on this, people lose their jobs. Enough is enough. And our book was taken off of Amazon. Our website was taken down. We've experienced cancel culture, but we've won the fight. You only lose if you stop fighting. James O'Keefe made that comment. I brought this up at the forum a few weeks ago. James O'Keefe wanted to work for Mass Resistance first, before he went out on his own. So, this is the fight. Mass Resistance. We make the difference. We speak the truth on this. Be damned what Antifa or any other hate group may say about us. And we win. We have a culture we have to shift. We have intellectual activism we have to engage in.